All right, so welcome to this short tutorial on making homemade granola. So, excuse me, this is going to be a short video, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this granola at home. Many times we go to the grocery store and we buy a store-bought granola and has all kinds of toxins and all kinds of nonsense we should be putting in our body. So I want to show you how to make this at home. All right, so welcome to this short tutorial on not sure if you making homemade granola. So, oops, not sure if you could hear that. That was my other window open, checking to see if this link was working. So I'll just mute that for now. But I just want to show you this is going to be quick. So the very first thing we're going to do is, well, you should all have your recipe book. So most of you are going to have this in ebook version. If you want your free ebook, head over to CompleteYouWithProtein.com. On the top area that says, it'll just say free ebook, and that's where the recipe is. Now, as you'll find out here shortly, I'm not exactly going to follow the recipe. Not so good at following recipes, so just bear with me. Now, it's going to be quite basic. It'll be what it'll be. So the first thing I want you to do is heat up your honey. Now, you want to heat it at very low temperatures. That's why it's the first thing you want to do, because I'm barely going to put it on any type of heat. I just want to melt it because that's going to make it easier to, it's going to be easier to mix in, really. So this is actually, we're quite fortunate in this area. We have a local farmer that makes this honey, and it's like cream. It's so delicious. But I suggest you find a local farmer or local farmer's market, someone that sells local honey. Helps with your immune system, a number of health benefits, sore throat. And then so many times we go to the grocery store and we find, you know, the cheapest brand, and we have the pasteurized. Try to find unpasteurized raw honey if you can. And so the first thing we're going to do is fill up this cup. Now, this recipe that you'd all be looking at in your book is one serving. It's really not going to do a whole, I mean, it's not going to last very long. I'm going to turn the oven on here. So I just preheat that at 350. So I usually make 3 times of what this recipe. Excuse me. So I usually make about 3 times of what this recipe says, because I have at least a cup in the morning and it goes by quick. So sometimes I have it for a snack. You can bring it for a trail mix, for example. So I'm going to put it, this says, where are we at with honey? This says 1/3 of a cup of honey. So I'm going to put a whole cup in there. So this is quite thick. So just give me a second here, and I'll fill up this cup so I have a better idea of. Now, I'm not going to measure exact with most other things. So we're going to have Dorothy come in here and do another recipe for you. Not today, but she is a little better at telling you exactly what she's going to use. I'm going to do my best here so you can make this at home or follow your own recipe. And the reason that I'm going to mix this up is because I want you to I want to show you how easy it is to make your own, how easy it is to improvise and make different kind of granola. So here's my pan. I'm going to throw this. You're not going to want to use a Teflon pan. Stay away from those products that put more toxins and put more stress on our body. Sticky. So the next thing we're going to add is applesauce. So I have a little trick here I'm going to show you. All right, let's leave that like that for now. There's your honey in the pan. Again, put that on low. You don't want any of the properties damaged on the stove before we make our little mixture here. Now, this is also homemade applesauce, so that's pretty cool. If you're going to buy applesauce at the store, just make sure there's not a bunch of junk in there. You don't want all those extra additives, so watch out for sugar and other food coloring. It's crazy what they put in, what they're allowed to put in. So here's my little trick. I'm going to throw in the applesauce with the honey. Now applesauce, our recipe shows here where we at. So we have apple juice in here. I'm not going to use apple juice. And we have 1/3 of a cup of applesauce. So you're certainly welcome to add the apple juice. It'll give it some more flavor, some more apple flavor. And I'm going to add, again, 3 times the amount of what this recipe says. So I'll try to stick with that. So I have 3 times the amount. So it's really nice when they heat up together because it mixes well with the oats, and you have the flavors kind of moving in and out together. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put this back on the stove. I'm just gonna wash this honey off my hands here. So now I want to look at the computer. I'm not sure if there's any questions coming in yet, but I have to see if I put the icon on so you can. This is live at the moment. Many of you will be watching this after it airs. Just give me a second here. So I'm not sure if you were trying to ask questions, but I don't think you were able to. But you are now. So head up, if you want to ask a question, look at the top right corner, and there'll be a box of, I think, 4 different squares. Click on that box, and there'll be a drop down to where you can ask questions. So to where you can ask questions. Now let me get a cup of, I'll need to get a cup of oats here. So I have a big bag of oats. I use oats often. I use oats often. This is a good brand. This is Avena Foods. So this is a gluten-free, it's a good quality type of oat. Many people think you can't find gluten-free oats, but you can. So this is, what was our recipe here? So we had oats in here, 2.5 cups. So let's put in 7. Sounds like a lot, I know. So that's 2, 3, 4. Well, it looks like I don't have a bowl big enough. So I'm going to go with 5. So I guess that's just double. But that's okay for me right now. We're going to throw in some other stuff as well. So you want to put all your, just checking the honey here. That's slowly melting. I turn that up just a little bit so that's ready for the video. Now, we want to put in, here's Complete Truth. So Complete Truth is fantastic for baking. It's going to add some healthy fats, slow digesting carbs, fiber. This is a complete protein. It's made with quinoa and hemp hearts. So this is fantastic for smoothies to give you a little energy boost. It's also good for baking. So we're going to give you some more recipes regarding baking, and just like this one. So if you don't have it, you don't need to substitute another flour. There's a lot of nutrients right here, but I would certainly recommend it. This is Complete Truth protein, so you'll be able to see me dump it in there. So you want to have all your liquids in one bowl, and you're going to have your dry goods, dry goods in another bowl. I just like I said, I don't really measure all this stuff. So this is honey, or this is nutmeg. I don't love nutmeg, but I like a hint of it. So I just put a little bit, I just sprinkle a little bit on there. I don't, like I said, I don't really measure that. And then we have cinnamon. This is cinnamon here. I like glass containers whenever I can. So I'm just gonna sprinkle. I really like cinnamon, so I'm gonna put a little bit more cinnamon on than nutmeg. Cinnamon and apples go fantastically together, so that's why this recipe tastes so good. I don't know if anyone has ever told me this wasn't some of the best granola they've ever tasted. I didn't make this recipe, by the way. So here's flax, ground flax. Now I just had this in my freezer, so I thought I may as well use it. I'm not really gonna measure that. I'm just gonna put 2 bigger spoons. That's not a tablespoon, that's probably 2 or 3 tablespoons. I'm just gonna put that in there, just sort of that. I would highly recommend some flax if you're not, certainly if you don't have complete truth protein. Now we do have a couple other things. So we have dried cranberries in this recipe. We have pumpkin seeds. We have almonds. I'm not going to put the almonds in this batch. And here's my pumpkin. So the oven's ready to go. I'm going to mix this. I'm going to mix this for you. I don't know if you can see that. So that, I'm not going to be able to tip it too much, but that's the honey and applesauce. So that's almost done. And we can tell just because it's all liquid. So we're just going to mix that up a little bit here. And that's going to be done in a very short time. And I'm almost done with this as well. Okay, so where we're at. Oh, the pumpkin seeds. So these are raw pumpkin seeds. Now I keep them in the fridge because they're raw, a little bit different than your conventional type of seed. Most quality seeds that are raw, to keep the healthy fats intact, you want to store them in the fridge. So that's why this is in a glass jar, has a cover on it, and that's going to go back in the fridge where I got it from. That should go in after your granola is cooked. Now, anytime you cook something, you do lose some type of nutritional value. So this is all clean food. Just because you cook it doesn't mean you're going to lose all the nutritional value. But things like seeds, even the cranberries, sometimes I sprinkle some hemp seeds in there, the chopped almonds, whatever it is. Sometimes I just throw that in when this is done. Now it's not going to be as cooked in, but you're going to get a better nutritional value out of that. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to move this book because sometimes I make a mess here. So I'm just going to check to see if this is almost done here. And you know what's nice about this is you make a big batch of it. Depending on how long it takes you to eat it, you store in the cupboard or in the fridge. There's no preservatives. There's nothing in here that shouldn't be in there. So if you have it for an extended period of time, I would suggest you put it in the fridge. I'm just mixing all this together here, making sure it's all liquid because I'm going to be pouring. We don't want chunks, like honey chunks. That's what I'm mixing more of. The honey take a little bit longer to liquefy. So what's nice about this is you can make different. So I've put different types of things in here. Like I've put actual chopped apples in here. See, in something like this, you don't need any refined sugar. Many times when I'm working with someone, they say, when I talk about reducing the refined sugar in your diet, in your life, is they say, well, what else do I put in here? You'll find that this is quite sweet. If you add your extra applesauce, you have applesauce, we have honey. Maybe you need to add a little bit more honey. That's a better quality sugar that your body can burn off as body fat. Many times when we put a substance in our body, is not really sure how to utilize it, not sure how to burn it off as energy. So it's stored as body fat. That's the biggest issue. And it's many times it's a toxin. It's more stress on our body. And we're stressed out, and as our society is, we are certainly more stressed out than need be. So I'm gonna mix the honey in here. Now I just do a little bit at a time. This is my method. I don't know how a professional would do it, but I'm just gonna pour a little bit in at a time, and then I'm gonna mix it just so it evens out. Just so it evens out a little bit. There's a whole lot of dry product in here. And like I said, what's nice about this is you can make it different every time. If the kids like something a little different, really enjoy this for breakfast, like I was saying before. So I use almond milk. I put I don't know, about a cup of almond milk, I suppose, on this, and a cup of this in the morning. You may want a half a cup, depending on what your body's used to. It's so important to put quality food in your body. That's in the morning, especially in the morning. That's probably the best thing that you can do for yourself in the morning is put quality food. You haven't had any food in your system for, hopefully you're sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours. I know sleep's a big issue in our society as well. So I really believe food plays a big role in everything, especially sleep. So many times we put highly processed food into our body late at night. We're bored, we're snacking, we're watching TV, and then we put this processed food in our body that has all kinds of crazy things in it that our body has no idea what to do with it. So our body spends a lot of time trying to figure out what to do with those substances late at night, and that takes away time, energy. Your body needs energy to sleep, if you can imagine. So if your energy is somewhere else, so if you have a big piece of meat right before bed, that's going to be difficult on your digestive system. So instead of your body healing, helping your body heal and recover like it should be, your body's trying to digest that difficult food. So, you know, one of the biggest things that I talk about is having a decent meal in the evening. Now, most experts would tell you not to have any food late at night. They tell you not to have any meals after dinner or past 6 o'clock. Personally, I'd say that's nonsense, because just think about that for a second. We work all day trying to increase our metabolism so we have more energy, so we can burn body fat, drop inches. And then after 6 o'clock, we don't go to bed till 10, 11 o'clock. That's 4 or 5 hours of no food. Of course, we're going to head over to the pantry and snack on something. We're starving, and we should be, because our metabolism is running at a higher rate. So you should be snacking a clean snack in the evening. Of course, like I was saying, if it's highly processed, if it's difficult food for your body to absorb, digest, utilize, if it's toxins in your body, putting more stress on your body, it's not going to help you sleep more. I'm almost done here. So you could have something like this granola snack in the evening after dinner instead of a bag of chips. I love chips. So this is pretty much done here. I'm going to get the pan out. So I just want to make sure this is mixed thoroughly or evenly. Sauce. And I'm going to put it in a pan. Just let me move this down a bit. You won't be able to see me. I don't know what's better. Probably the dish. So I'm just going to put this, I'm going to evenly spread this in the pan. So that took a little bit longer than usual. I'm not quite sure what time we're at, how long this was at, but as you can see, so this is going to last a couple weeks. Now, depending on how big your family is, you might want to make a bigger batch. If it's just you, then you might want to make a smaller batch, or keep this batch the same and have it for a couple weeks. This might last a week, actually. I thought it was going to be more. But as you can tell, what I was saying is that this really doesn't take that long to prepare something like this, a clean, healthy meal. The prep work took me more than anything, just to have everything set up for you. Have everything set up for you in the kitchen. But this is it. I mean, this is delicious. It's going to taste delicious. I promised you that. And it's super healthy for you. You can, like I said, you can have it for trail mix. You can have it for snack. You can have it for breakfast, in the morning, in the evening, whatever it is. And it's going to give you energy. We need to start putting better quality foods in our body and avoiding those hard to digest types of food. So let me throw this in the oven here. And that's it. I'm going to cut this off here. Thanks so much for checking it out, and catch you on the next video. Hope you join us for another one.